Hey party people, happy Thursday. I'm Emma Lord, Bustle's Web Culture Associate Editor, and today we are going to jump right into an Oscars extravaganza. I have Ashley Santoro, who is the sommelier at the Standard in the East Village here in New York, and we're going to be going through like just what looks like glorious, glorious food and pairing it with the appropriate wines because she knows best. You can see that I have already dressed for the occasion. I will be taking interviews after this if anybody wants to know who I'm wearing. But in the meantime, we are going to dive right into these pairings and we're going to be giving each of them little awards. So stay tuned to see which one each pairing gets. Do you want to just dive right in?
Yeah, totally. So I'm very excited to be here, talk some wine, eat this food.
So what's this process going to look like?
So it's going to get a little messy because, I mean, it's barbecue. We have to do what we have to do. But we're going to start with, I think, best pairing, best overall pairing. And this will actually be one of the fuller wines that we're going to taste today. Kind of the perfect thing to go with ribs, the brisket. So it's a little smoky, it has some power to it, but it's not overly aggressive. So this is 100% Tempranillo from Ribera del Duero. It's the Villa Creces Bruno 2014. So I'm going to pour us each a little taste and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
About the wine with the ribs.
Thank you.
Of course.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
I definitely see what you mean by smoky. This is very,
You know, it definitely, like I said, has some power and grip to it, but it's not going to overpower the food. Even if you were starting with the mac and cheese, the fritters, the slaw, it doesn't have so much grip and tannin that it's going to kill you.
Hey guys, if you have any wine questions yourself or like any just like crazy Oscars predictions you want to make, please put them in the comments. We are all ears. Ashley is here to answer your questions as well. In the meantime, what do you think we should dive in to pair with this?
I think let's go brisket first.
Brisket first? I can't wait for all my friends to screenshot my attempts at eating this in a fancy dress.
Maybe we'll save the ribs for last.
Yeah. Get ready, everyone. This is delicious. Okay. These do pair really well together. Yeah.
And this is where everyone is jealous of us.
Yes.
Because we're eating a bunch of meat and drinking wine.
So tell me, are you going to host any kind of Oscars party for yourself? Or are you going to somebody's?
I might go to someone's. I'm traveling this weekend, so it's a little tough to plan anything in New York, but we shall see.
Yeah,
any reason to party.
Yeah, no matter
on a
where
Sunday
you are.
Especially.
Yeah, there's gonna be Oscars coverage wherever you are. There's no escaping it.
Sure.
So I think we've decided that this one is going to get the award for best pairing. If you want to hold that up proudly next to the wine.
Best pairing. Okay.
So
now we're going to move
right
on
the next one?
to sparkling. With any party, you should have some bubbles. It doesn't have to be champagne. Today we're not tasting champagne. We're actually going to taste a sparkling Verdejo from Rueda, also in central Spain, right outside of Ribera del Duero. So like I said, you don't have to invest a lot of money into sparkling wine. There's a lot of great values out there, and especially this wine. But it's nice to have some bubbles. You know, everyone thinks you have to start your meal with bubbles as an aperitif, but if I'm dining with friends, it's actually something that can take you throughout the whole meal. So we could taste a few different things. You know, bubbles, like I said, it's not just an aperitif. You can have it with mac and cheese, you can have it sweet potato, but it's also gonna hold up to maybe the pulled pork or even the ribs.
Yeah, this is perfect because literally if I just had these 6 foods for the rest of my life until I was dead, I think I'd be fine.
Yeah.
This is all I really need.
I don't think you'd live very long, but...
Yeah, but I'd make the most of it, absolutely. Every day should be Oscars party day. It's clearly what the solution here is. Ooh, this is nice and bubbly. So do you have any advice if, say, you were like hosting an all dessert party, if, say, you were classless enough to just serve your guests cookie dough, which is a thing that I may or may not have done at an Oscars party before?
I would say desserts are tricky. I never want to assume that everyone likes sweet wine, even if you are just serving sweet food. So something like this, something with a little bit of effervescent, something with maybe a little bit of residual sugar might work out. But I want to assume that everyone wants like something very syrupy and over-the-top sweet and fruity, because that's going to overpower the dessert and your palate.
Yeah. Can't compete with my cookie dough, so. Ooh, this is nice and light.
And this would be great for dessert. I mean, it's great for savory, but there is a little bit of fruit and some floral notes, so it will definitely take you to the end of the meal.
Yeah, I really like this one. So
and
I
think this would be really good with the corn fritters.
Corn fritters? Are we going to
some
dive
slaw,
in?
For sure.
I'm not going to be a lady about this.
No, I like your style.
Oh my gosh, this is really good.
It's super salty too.
I'm going to need a moment alone, guys. So how long have you been a sommelier? Like, and what got you interested in this?
Well, I started working in restaurants when I was 15, and I was like, I think I'm going to go to law school. And then I was like, I'm not going to law school. Because once you start in restaurants, that energy is so contagious. And there's really, I mean, a courtroom is not going to fulfill that need.
A lot less wine there, too.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So I decided to drink for a living.
Yeah!
Started out in culinary school, moved to Europe for a while, and when I came back to the States, started taking more formal wine education. And I've been a wine director in the city for close to 10 years now.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Holy guacamole, that's amazing.
A lot of wine.
I think that we've decided that this one is getting the best dressed, and I think that's quite fitting. It's very bubbly. I feel like it matches my outfit. I'm just gonna go ahead and make that claim.
Very cute.
Now we are moving on to yet another wine.
Yep. So we're gonna do white again, so we can use the same glass.
Chug.
I know it's hard to see how much you're pouring
Yeah.
in these glasses, but I mean, I'm not complaining.
I'm really excited to go to my desk after this.
And here we have the Protos Verdejo. So we just had a sparkling Verdejo, now we're moving on to still. Pretty much any grape you can make sparkling. Sparkling is, you just really need to initiate a secondary fermentation. So this is a still version, and I think this is getting classic.
More in the classic range. I'm very curious to see what the tone of this Oscars is going to be. If that's going to I feel like you can usually decide what the theme is based on the movies, but I feel like the movies this year are just so diverse in range. You can't really find a common theme and be like, go to town, guys. I mean, we do have kind of a theme here. I feel like there's a lot of pork.
There's a lot of things going on here.
Yeah.
A lot of different flavor profiles.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
What would you recommend to pair with this?
I would go, we could go mac and cheese.
We can go mac and cheese. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
I know, not a bad day. We're eating mac and cheese and a bunch of meat and drinking wine.
Oh my gosh, this is quality mac and cheese, guys. Sorry again. But if you need mac and cheese recipes, you can go to bustle.com and find some really stellar ones.
And this is nice because, I mean, with mac and cheese, it's so intense. You need something that's fairly high in acidity to kind of cut through and hold up to the wine. So the Protos is nice because it is more medium to full in weight, has high acidity, some fruit, but again, it's not so overwhelming that it doesn't pair well with food.
Yeah, this is delicious. I think we have decided that this one wins the Best Feel Good Classic Award. How fitting that it would go with this beautiful classic of mac and cheese. Bottoms up.
And now we're moving on to a different red.
This is delicious. So if you're somebody who is kind of intimidated by, what advice would you give to somebody who's intimidated by wine lingo?
Well, that's tough. You know, I think all too often we think of wine as being a luxury product, and you really have to simplify it and think of it as it's fermented grape juice. Don't overthink it, and when you're talking about wine, use terms that you feel comfortable with. If I'm describing wine to a guest looking through the wine list, I'm really just asking them really simple things. Are you looking for something more fruit-driven, more earthy, or if it's a white wine, something with more citrus fruit or more tropical fruit? I'm not bringing specific wine experiences. So sometimes you read wine reviews and it's like, oh, this tastes like freshly hunted venison in the hills of Piedmont, you know, and it just goes on to someone's personal wine experience, but that doesn't tell you anything about wine.
Yeah.
So the first thing is really tell me what you're looking for: white, red, rosé, sparkling, something on the lighter side, something on the fuller side, and then we could get into the details. But really simplify it and don't overthink it.
Yeah, I feel a lot less intimidated now. Just hearing that alone. I don't have to know what venison tastes like.
No.
So what is this one?
So this one is the Emilio Moro.
Should I finish this one?
Malleolus, 2011. So this is from Ribera del Duero, just like the first red. Again, 100% Tempranillo. I would consider it maybe just a little leaner than the Finca Villa Creces.
Yeah.
But definitely has the power to hold up to the ribs if we're willing to go that route. I know
I'm more than willing. I'm dressed for the occasion.
I'm ready. We have some wet naps, so it's all good. It's all good. So it does have some power to it, a little bit of a different profile, and it's cool to taste similar grapes side by side.
Yeah.
Because so much of the challenge as a sommelier is when someone says, I really like Tempranillo or I really like Chardonnay, that can mean so many things.
Yeah.
So when you taste these wines side by side, and even the Verdejo could be sparkling, it could be still. It's really just trying to capture what you want and finding the perfect bottle.
Yeah.
So tasting these two grapes,
Cheers.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I can see how it's somewhat related to the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So similar, but this, like I said, maybe a little bit more medium in weight, has some chocolatey, savory notes. Definitely.
Like chocolate.
I know, chocolate and wine, it's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
So this would be really great with ribs, but it does have a little bit of a smoky characteristic, just like the first wine. So you could definitely have the brisket as well.
I think I'm going full on ribs, guys.
I'm gonna follow your lead.
Yeah. Wish me luck. This is really good. I've always heard that this is like the food that you're never supposed to eat on a first date. So of course I'm just eating it in front of thousands of people on Facebook Live. What up, everyone? Yeah. So the pairing for this one, best aesthetic, which is fitting because I think that we just very daintily ate those ribs.
Yeah.
Presented to your little wine bottle. Here you go, friend. This is giving me flashbacks to that Parks and Rec episode. Have you seen the one where they like are testing the sommeliers for the new restaurant? And the one character goes around and is just basically pulling everyone's legs and being like, "This tastes like Satan brewed it" or something.
Yep. Which is kind of what a lot of wine descriptions seem like. It's like every time I open up a wine review, it's something kind of outrageous, and you're like, "That's not real."
Yeah.
You've just created like a children's book describing wine that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so here's the people-friendly version of wine pairing.
Absolutely.
What do you want to move on to next?
So we're going to move on to a white wine, and this is most Instagrammable, if that's grammatically correct, because the label is pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to hold that up for the camera so everyone can see? Ta-da!
So this is the Julie Benoit Pic Pool from the Languedoc.
You can like hold it from the bottom. I guess that's part of the training. It's all in the...
It takes some practice,
Really?
but that's the kind of the way that you do it.
I like see people like crack eggs with one hand too, and I'm like, where did you come from?
They're aliens. I thought this would be fun because A, it's unusual, and it's not a huge investment. So when you're entertaining or bringing wine to a party, it's nice to maybe explore some other options beyond just showing up with a bottle of Chardonnay or Albarino. So this isn't a huge risk because it's not weird, it's not super esoteric. You're just really presenting a grape variety that maybe you don't see so often. Yeah. And this wine, while it's lean, it does have some nice richness and texture that it would hold up to everything on the table. I think this would be fun with the pulled pork. I think it would be fun with the sweet potato, the fritters, the slaw. So even though it's white, you still have the ability to pair it with maybe some heavier proteins.
It's a switch hitter wine. Let's take a sip. Ooh, that's nice and cool too. What do you think we should try it with?
Let's go pulled pork.
We're going pulled pork. Da-na-na-na. Okay, let's see if I can make this happen gracefully. Ooh, that seems like a graceful bite.
Good.
Yeah, this is really good. And we've decided that this one is the Best Supporting Wine, which is fitting because you said it would fit with everything on this table. And this is like a very large table of food too, so that spans a lot of ground.
All right, and then we have one more red. I'm gonna take another sip of my white though because it's delicious.
Saving the best for last?
So the red that we're moving on to is actually from Beaujolais. I feel like Beaujolais has a little bit of a bad rep because of Beaujolais Nouveau. I'm not going to get into the details. But this is a nice wine because it does have some savory, earthy, and dark fruit notes, similar to the Tempranillo, but it's a little lighter in style. So like I said, I don't think any of the reds that we tasted today were overwhelmingly powerful and aggressive, but you also want to bring something to the party that's a little lighter in style for people that maybe typically drink Pinot Noir or just like light wines as a preference. Yeah. But you still want something with the profile to pair with the wine.
Do you have any Oscars predictions for this year?
Would it be bad if I told you I haven't really? I don't know them all.
You know what? I know very little about wine, so I also, you know what?
Yeah, we'll just
trade.
Let it slide. I'll give you some wine knowledge, and you can give me.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea, honestly. All really great picks this year, so I'm not even gonna try to like place any bets. I usually bet with candy, but I like candy too much to
I bring wine to the party, and I eat people's food.
That's excellent. May we all be the person who brings the wine and eats the food.
Ashley, we actually have a question from Allison. She wants to know, aren't you supposed to spit it out after tasting, or is that a myth?
If you're doing a large format tasting, I mean, there is alcohol in these wines. So even after tasting these few, we're gonna, be ready for our day. But if you're doing a larger format tasting and the purpose is to really evaluate wine, I would say you should probably spit, but no, if you're tasting wine and it's in this setting or with friends or at a party, I wouldn't feel the pressure to do so. I would say enjoy it.
Yeah.
A lot of work went into the wines that we're tasting, so why waste it?
That's a good philosophy. What do you think we should pair this one with?
I would say this would be great with a brisket. But also we haven't had the sweet potato, and I think this would actually work really well.
Yeah, let's try the sweet potato. That's been calling my name ever since it got here. That is delicious. This does pair well.
We have another question for Ashley. Someone wants to know, what is your favorite thing about wine?
One thing?
That's tough. That's like asking me what my favorite wine is. I mean, I think, I grew up in a big Italian family, and wine was always a part of, our conversation and on the table. And I would say wine brings people together in a lot of ways. I'm standing here in this office to talk wine with you guys, and have some food. And I just think in that way it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is definitely a good favorite thing to have about wine, because there are too many others to count.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about wraps up we have one more award to give. This one received most Instagrammable, which honestly, these sweet potatoes are also extremely Instagrammable. We can stick those up with the wine, and look how beautiful these are, guys. Yeah, and you're going to be taking a lot of Instagrams, whether or not you are watching the Oscars in your pajamas or you are decked out to the nines like I happen to be today. So yeah, I think this was like a really great way for those of you who are hosting a party. If you've just tuned in, scroll on back, figure out what your food pairings are going to be. This has been an extremely helpful tutorial from Ashley Santoro. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Happy Oscars, everyone.